Have you ever replayed a conversation in your head long after it ended, wondering if you said the wrong thing, if you sounded weird, if they secretly judged you? Have you ever spent hours worrying about something that never actually happened, or imagined every possible outcome of a situation until you felt completely exhausted? If so, you're not alone. Millions of people struggle with overthinking every day. And the frustrating part is that most overthinkers know they're overthinking. They know they're stuck in a loop, yet they can't seem to stop. Why? Why does your brain keep replaying old memories? Why does it keep creating new worries? Why does it feel impossible to relax? The answer has less to do with intelligence and more to do with how your brain is trying to protect you. In this video, you're going to explore why you overthink everything and why it feels impossible to stop, and what your mind is actually trying to tell you. Most people think overthinking is the problem, but what if overthinking is actually a symptom? Think about it. Nobody wakes up and decides, I'm going to spend the next 6 hours worrying. Overthinking usually starts with something else. Fear, uncertainty, anxiety, self-doubt. Your brain doesn't overthink because it enjoys suffering. It overthinks because it believes it's helping. Every scenario you imagine, every conversation you replay, every future disaster you prepare for, your brain sees it as protection. It thinks, if I think about this enough, maybe I can prevent something bad from happening. The problem is, life doesn't work that way, and eventually your mind becomes trapped in an endless cycle of trying to control things that cannot be controlled. Imagine walking through a forest thousands of years ago. Your survival depended on spotting danger. The humans who noticed threats survived. The humans who ignored them often didn't. Because of that, your brain evolved to pay more attention to danger than safety. This is called the negativity bias. Even today, your brain scans constantly for problems. The difference is that modern threats aren't lines. They're social situations, relationships, rejection, embarrassment, failure. So instead of asking, is there a predator nearby? Your brain asks, what if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if something goes wrong? Suddenly, your thoughts begin spiraling. One of the most common forms of overthinking is replaying conversations. You leave an interaction, everything seems fine. Then, hours later, your brain decides to review the entire event, word by word, facial expression by facial expression, tone by tone. Why? Because human beings are deeply social creatures. For most of human history, being rejected by the group could be dangerous. So your brain became highly sensitive to social mistakes. Even today, a harmless interaction can trigger hours of analysis, not because something went wrong, but because your brain wants certainty. And certainty is something life rarely provides. One reason overthinking feels so addictive is because it creates the illusion of control. When you're thinking, it feels like you're doing something productive. It feels like you're solving a problem, preparing, protecting yourself, but often you're just running in cycles. Imagine sitting in a rocking chair, You're moving constantly, yet you're going nowhere. That's what overthinking often feels like. Mental activity without mental progress. And the more uncertain life feels, the harder it becomes to stop, because uncertainty is uncomfortable. And overthinking tricks us into believing we're reducing uncertainty, even when we're not. Most people believe overthinking means they're weak, but that's rarely true. In fact, people who overthink are often highly intelligent. They're observant, reflective, aware of consequences. The problem isn't intelligence, the problem is direction. A powerful mind without boundaries can become its own worst enemy. When imagination is used well, it creates solutions. When imagination is driven by fear, it creates endless worries. That's why some of the most smartest people struggle with anxiety. Their minds never stop generating possibilities. Over time, overthinking begins affecting more than your thoughts. It affects your body. You feel mentally tired, physically drained, emotionally exhausted. You struggle to sleep. You struggle to focus. You struggle to enjoy the present moment because your attention is always somewhere else. Yesterday, tomorrow, the worst case scenario, anywhere except right now. And eventually, the brain becomes overwhelmed by the very thing it believes is helping. The solution isn't forcing yourself to stop thinking. That rarely works. Instead, start noticing when thinking becomes rumination. Ask yourself, am I solving a problem? Or am I repeating the same thought again and again? There's a difference. Problem solving moves forward. Overthinking moves in circles. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is accept uncertainty. Not everything can be predicted. Not everything can be controlled. Not every question has an answer, and that's okay. If you've been struggling with overthinking, remember this. You are not broken. Your brain is not working against you. It is trying to protect you. The problem is that it has become stuck in protection mode. And when the mind spends too much time preparing for danger, it forgets how to experience peace. Healing doesn't begin when you finally control every outcome. It begins when you realize you never had to. Because life isn't something that can be perfectly predicted. It's something that has to be lived. If this video helped you understand yourself a little better, subscribe to my Decode. Because understanding your mind is the first step towards mastering it.